What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Fernando Martinez versus Jerwin Ancajas 2, and this was a 12-rounder for the IBF super-flyweight world championship, and this fight was Saturday, October 8th from the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, and this fight was broadcasted on Showtime. And in this fight, Fernando Martinez was able to pick up yet another dominant unanimous decision victory over Jerwin Ancajas. The scorecards were very similar to the first fight. I scored at 119 to 108 in favor of Fernando Martinez, and three judges scored this bout 119 to 109 was my scorecard, not 119 108. But yeah, I did agree with one judge who also scored at 119 to 109, and the other two judges scored at 118 to 110. So all the scorecards were definitely, I think, really the right scorecards for this fight, anywhere from 1 to 2 rounds for Ancajas, but nonetheless, Fernando Martinez is a real player at 115 pounds, and even after when he beat Ancajas the first time, I mean, this fight just shows that the last two fights against Ancajas has showed his grit, his heart, the way he could just brawl with his opponents. He's shown that he has a tremendous chin, because Ancajas is someone who has a heavy punch at 115, and he is just eating his leather and just coming forward. So just to break this fight down round by round, the first round, Ancajas had some solid shots on the outside, but Martinez, I just thought, had just the bigger and more better scoring shots. However, in round two, this was a very clear round for Ancajas, and it was a very nice round. Ancajas actually was boxing very, very well, landing counter hooks, landing 1-2s on the outside. He looked tremendous in that second round. But then in round number three, I gave it to Martinez for just coming forward and having the better shots, just being more active, and that was really that's really what happened throughout most of these rounds in this entire fight. Martinez was just more active, just like the first fight, throwing the bigger and better hooks, shots, just dictating the pace. So the same thing happened in round four, where Martinez landed the better shots, but they were exchanging very nicely in the middle of the ring, and they were making it a very fun fight. But I mean, even though this fight was dominant and wide for Martinez, it was still very fun to watch because both men were throwing big whooping shots. But then in the fifth round, again, or really in the fifth and sixth round, was very similar work for Martinez, just as the other rounds, just coming forward, throwing big leaping shots, overhands, whilst Ancajas was trying to land some shots of his own on the back foot, but Martinez won those rounds easily. Round seven, I mean, it had tremendous exchanges. I mean, tremendous. Both of them were just wheeling away, throwing big hook after hook. It looked like literally rock'em sock'em robots. This fight was a very fun fight, as I mentioned earlier, and that round seven did show why it was a very fun fight to watch. But yet again, Martinez was just landing the bigger and better scoring shots. That's why he got that round, despite there being some nice exchanges. However, in round eight, I mean, Martinez just was more active. It seemed like both of them did slow down a bit with the pace, but Martinez was definitely more active. Same in round nine. Martinez, although the pace wasn't as high as it was earlier, he was just more active as well. I mean, really, those last couple of rounds were just very similar. Rounds 10, 11, and 12 were really just Martinez coming forward, and Cajas fighting off the back foot, occasionally coming forward with his own shots, but Martinez was just primarily coming forward, landing the bigger hooks, overhands. Really, he just won those rounds clearly as well. So, yeah, I mean, that ultimately totals to 11 rounds to 1 in favor of Fernando Martinez. And, yeah, if you're watching this fight, comment down below how you scored it. I would imagine that it's very similar to what I had it and what the judges had it, like 119 to 109 or 118 to 110 for Martinez. So this goes into the question, what is next for Fernando Martinez? Defeating Jerwin Ancajas for a second time. I think he's due for a very solid fight. I don't really think necessarily he's going to take on another world champion at 115. The world titles, I believe, at 115 are Jesse Rodriguez, who holds the WBC, Kazuto Ioka, who holds the WBO, obviously Martinez, who holds the IBF, and the WBA champion at 115 pounds. I mean, really, that weight class at 115 is just a very solid one, to be 100% honest. But the WBA title at 115 pounds, I'm pretty sure is vacant. I mean, I think I might be wrong. I think the regular champion is, or the regular champion 100% is Joshua Franco, but I think the super title was vacated and stripped from Juan Francisco Estrada because he didn't want to fight. Joshua Franco and unify those WBA titles. So I'm pretty sure it's vacant. Comment down below if I'm incorrect on that, but that's what I think it is. But yeah, I mean, still, this goes into the question: what is next for Fernando Martinez? I don't think, as I mentioned before, he's going to unify his titles in his next fight. I think he'll defend it on yet another big Showtime card like this, as an open or maybe a co-main event. And I think he could take on any of these four names. All these guys are ranked highly by the IBF at 115 pounds, so he could take on the number one contender, Jade Bornea. He might be able to take on Charlie Edwards, maybe Francisco Rodriguez, or have a big fight against Kosei Tanaka. So any of those names, I could definitely see Martinez fighting next. But as for Jerwin Ancajas, losing here for the third time in his career, second time to Martinez, I think he should tone it down a bit. I think that he should take on maybe someone at lower level, just outside the top 10, maybe top 15, just to get a solid win. And I think that in his next fight, he might be moving up to 118 pounds. So if he does that, he should definitely take on some guy in the top 15 to test the waters at that weight, because he said it was very hard to make 115 pounds, especially when he fought Martinez the first fight, and this fight he lost. So I think it will be good for him to move up in weight, maybe have a few fights there, see what he could do, see if he should continue on at that weight, and really just take on some guys in the top 15, somewhere around that level, and get some solid wins, because I still think he's a very solid top 10 fighter at 115 pounds, so I wonder how he would do at 118 pounds. So overall, Fernando Martinez defeats Jerwin Ancajas yet again, getting a pretty wide unanimous decision victory to successfully defend his IBF Super Flyweight World title for the first time. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.